Hello, everyone. I am that one Souls character. In case you wonder why my lips are red, I just got done drinking some big. I just got done drinking some big red. All right. See. Anyway, it's not lipstick. Don't get any ideas. Should probably wash that off before I make this video. Anyway, as you could have told, as you can tell, this is going to be my review on Dark Souls. I just got done beating Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 1. Well, actually, I got done beating Dark Souls 3 a long time ago. Dark Souls 1. Well, that's still way more recent, I guess. Sorry, get it out of there. um, without further ado, I will begin my little review. Dark Souls Remastered. It's a game known by many people and is very highly rated as one of the hardest games out there. Challenging but fair, it makes the player strive for a very different experience than your average quote. I mean, when you think about it, video games always seem to just get easier the more you move along, don't they? You get better weapons, you get better stuff. I mean, they've always just kind of been there. But when you come to Dark Souls 3, you gotta figure that crap out for yourself. And Dark Souls Remastered. I mean, all of them. For instance, one of the things I noticed in Dark Souls 3 was as soon as you defeat the boss Udix Gundyr with your weapon, you are greeted by a glowing corpse item that when you collect it, it's a broken straight sword, one of the weakest weapons in the game. Now, I don't know about you, but this seems like, to me at least, like trying to trick the player into thinking, oh, I progressed, so this is better. At least that's how I feel. So Dark Souls isn't just another one of those games. It's a completely unique experience. It's even earned its own category sometimes. And at some points, it's had its lows, but it's definitely had many highs. I'm going to name out a few of the best highly rated boss battles in Dark Souls Remastered. And I'm going to review them a little, as the game as a whole. One, I'm going to review Artorias, the Abyss Walker. Now, this is a very highly rated boss, not just for its fight, but mainly for its story. Artorias of the Abyss was one of the Knights of Gwyn who walked the Abyss trying to kill it, basically. And he kind of gotten taken over by it. That's where you meet him. Corrupted, forgotten, and damned, pretty much. But then you kind of end his suffering, yada yada yada. But here's something unique. Where do you find a story in a game, just a regular game? Where do you find a story that correlates with the character, and to where you can delve into that story as your own player? Most games are just one story correlated with one character. When you take Artorias, well, it's one character, but it's correlated into 5 different stories. You have the story of the Abyss, Artorias, Manus, Sif, and the Princess of Dusk. Oh, well, 6 counting Calamite, I guess. Or maybe 7 counting Hawkeye Go. Maybe. But still, there's some things to consider. Just that one little segment contains 7 stories of a character, each on their own. Manus, Father of the Abyss. Princess Dusk, Artorias the Abysswalker, Hawkeye Go, Black Dragon Calamite, all these people, things, all correlate to one thing. And that one thing somehow just manages to delve deep into all these players' story, where you are in the center of it all. And even then, it has some deep storytelling. I've heard from a friend that if you were to do the Artorias of the Abyss and save Sif before you do the Sif boss fight, he will recognize you. And that's something that I think only Telltale does when it comes to deep story delving. When you think about it, name a story that isn't Telltale. One of those games, just a regular game. And you can do something like that. You can change the entire course of everything just by, well, simply doing a certain task first. Getting a different cutscene might seem small, but it makes a very big difference when you know what that cutscene's supposed to mean. Isn't it? Alright. That's just me talking about how... That's just me rambling about how the story dwells with the characters. I'm still not done with that. Dark Souls does have some deep storytelling, and I know some people are out there mocking it. Right? I don't blame you, to be honest. I mean, isn't it a little weird that people say Dark Souls has deep story dwelling, then Dark Souls is over here like, they call him Big Hat Logan because he has the big hat. Alright, I know, but when you look into some of the more iconic characters, you see that it really dwells deep. Artorias became the very thing he sought to destroy. Sif protects the dead and gone, pretending as though they were alive. Gwyn is fighting for nothing, well, fighting for a vision of his former self. When you think of all of these people and you add it up, and the weird part is, these are just stories within stories within stories, if that makes any sense. The story of the flame, the story of how these people correlate to the flame, and their stories. Does that make any sense? I hope it does, because no one's watching yet. At least, not that I know of. Yeah, no one's watching. Sorry. I'm sorry. Let's talk about design. It's a big thing, right? Dark Souls isn't, we all know, even though it is remastered vision, it doesn't have the best graphics ever, right? Something we're all gonna have to come to with. But they're doable, and they are, well, to me, I didn't even have to adjust to them. They were fine to me. I don't ever feel that's a big issue. These graphics, for some reason, I feel like every single pixel just kind of has its own image. If that makes any sense. Now, there are some design levels that we do not like. Tomb of Giants, for example. If you did not find the skeleton lantern in the Tomb of Giants, I feel bad for you. I feel very, very bad for you. Anyway. Let's talk about some level design. Dark Souls is not a puzzle game. I mean, they have tried to make some of their bosses puzzles, but kind of like Yorm is a good example. They failed magnificently. They made a good puzzle of finding the story of the sword and using it. And to me, it felt like every single time I struck Yorm with the Storm Roller, it felt like I could just, every time I used it, the story relived itself, you know? of Siege Ward and the people of the profane capital. But they did it horribly. The weapon was too overpowered. The boss was, well, boss was fine. I guess his attacks were way too, how to put this, predictable. I mean, the instant he even moves, you can already tell what he's fixing to do. And I mean, the only time it's ever messed me up is because he's so predictable. One time I dodged when I wasn't supposed to, and I still didn't get hit. But Worm is a good example. FromSoft, I don't think it was meant. I don't think Dark Souls is meant for puzzling. People, well, FromSoft has tried and tried again. One of the most famous ones ever, though, Ornstein and Smell. The famed duo. I need to say something that might not get a lot of likes or anything, but Ornstein and Smell, to me, that boss battle, I had high hopes for it. I was severely disappointed. And when I say severely disappointed, I don't mean that I was just, oh, what is this? Everything's bad. That's not what I mean. The level was good. I mean, the arena was good. I liked the idea. I liked how they played it out. I just don't like this one concept that I'm just gonna say it here in a moment, but I just don't like the concept that if you have done anything in a different order, everything's just way easier. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm saying if I played Dark Souls 3 was my first game, right? No, not first game, first from something. No, not even that. Bloodborne was my first Dark Souls, right? Bloodborne was. And Dark Souls 3 was fast paced, it was hard, and it made me want to throw brick at my TV, you know? But I learned a lot from it. And when I come to Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, I played them all backwards, by the way. When I came to Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, I was so disappointed. Everyone's saying that they are hard and everything. I was so disappointed. Because the Dark Souls 1, I need to say this. Dark Souls 1, I beat Ornstein and Smell on my first try, on my first playthrough. I never even played against them before. I just knew that the only thing I really knew about them was that if you killed one, then the other would, absorb their power. That's like the only thing I knew. I never watched videos on them. In fact, I tried to distance myself from videos about Dark Souls 1 and 2. I only tried to keep Dark Souls 3 in my mind because, well, that was the game I was playing. I didn't want to spoil the other two. I'm going to name out some hard, difficult bosses that I breezed past. Manus, Father of the Abyss, was rated very highly on Dark Souls 1 to be one of the hardest. Torius, Ornstein, and Smo. All of them. Nope. Gone. Blasted through them. Black Dragon Calmy was a mistake because I killed Gwen, and since I was used to Dark Souls 3, I was like, I just won't like the fire. And then it just instantly gave me a new game. Instant new game. But, so I haven't gotten a chance to kill Calmy yet. I can say Calmy is challenging. That much, at least. Those three were major title boss battles. And I kind of breezed through them due to my Dark Souls 3 experience. And it felt painful here, alright? Because, to be honest, I felt like maybe with the remastered version out, maybe they would, I don't know how to. Maybe they would have made things a bit more challenging. If that's the right way to say it. I'm wondering if that's the right way to say it, because there's a lot of things they could have done way better in the remastered. Because the remastered, the only way it's different is they notched up the brightness a couple and contrast, and that's about it. So yeah, they just pretty much knocked up the brightness, and it came with the DLC. It's the only difference. Sorry. Next topic. Let's talk about weapons. The best part. Which game had the best weapons? Mm. Ding, 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 ding. I'm gonna let you think on that for a moment. Alright. Got your favorite weapon in mind and the game it's from? Alright. Leave a comment and I'll review the comments. If you want, I'll give you my opinion on it. Just put a -1 at the end of your comment if you want me to review it. Alright? My favorite weapons are from Dark Souls 3. Alright? The reason I don't like weapons from... Actually, Dark Souls 2 had some okay weapons. Dark Souls 1 had my least favorite weapons. Least favorite. And I know I could get a lot of hate for that, but yeah. Dark Souls 1 weapons to me were slow, agonizing to use, and if you didn't use a low damage weapon, then you were guaranteed to just kind of dwaddle through on your first playthrough. Which, guess what? I just got done with using the Silver Knight Straight Sword +5 with Gold Pine Reason. Even with the buff, it's okay. I'm not gonna say it was horrible or anything, but it was okay. But Dark Souls 3 was magnificent. The Black Knight Sword in Dark Souls 3 was faster. The effects were cooler. It was amazing. Armor designs, weapon designs, character designs, leveling playout. Just the only thing that Dark Souls 3 lacked was its own story. Say that because Dark Souls 1, one of the reasons I believe Dark Souls 1 to have one of the biggest, nicest, heart-wrenching community of all is mainly because it had its own story. You know? And that's the thing that made Dark Souls 2 and 3 kind of fall after it in the community, I feel. When you argue designs, just take a look at Dark Souls 3. It's, in my opinion, its multiplayer is better, its designs are better, the leveling's better. Just the only thing it's lacking is the story, believe it or not. How insignificant that might sound, but it's a huge part of the game. A huge part. And FromSoft did not exactly deliver. I feel like that's what happened with Dark Souls 2. Why it gets so much hate. I honestly kind of like Dark Souls 2. I just stopped playing it because I got lost. It's not me trying to say, I couldn't fight the enemies. It was too hard. I mean, I'm literally lost. I don't know what to do. I killed Quaylak. Not Quaylak. Sorry, Dark Souls. Dark Sauce is still on my mind. Anyway. I killed the Lost Center, and then that big old spider Udiki. Then I'm just kind of stuck. Leave a comment if you know what to do next. Let's talk about community for a moment. Dark Souls has one of the nicest communities I've ever seen. And here's the weird part. It has the nicest, but it also has the saltiest communities. I've seen hate mail. It's the saltiest things. And Dark Souls hate mail is the saltiest thing known to mankind. I have to drink water while reading those because of all the salt. Alright? It's just horrifying. But the community, the good part of the community, is what really makes Dark Souls Dark Souls. And the community loves it, and it is an amazing game. No matter how you look at it, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Remastered, Original, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, all these games were made with an intent to drive the player for more. And the community understood that and took the challenge. But not only did we take the challenge, we also one-upped it by involving each other. There wasn't... I mean, if you were a loner on Dark Souls, you had not played Dark Souls. Right? You have not played Dark Souls until you've gotten a buddy summon and played through the entire game just with him or her. Right? You have not played Dark Souls until you've done that. And I've done that. And it is fun as heck. Having a buddy you can just drag around with you all the time. This watcher's gone. Pontiff. Gone. Anyone else think that, has anyone else ever died to 1 year for the first time because, they didn't hit the bracelets? I died to 1 year quite a few times. Actually, not quite a few, like 3 or 4 or 5 times. And hear me out, because I didn't know about the bracelets and I just tried hitting out. So like 50 damage, 60. What the heck is going on? Ooh! Kind of start freaking out a little. Anyway. Bosses are they kind of evolve throughout all 3 games, I think. But nevertheless, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 will always be a game that is cherished by community, will always challenge us, and has some of the best designs, bosses, weapons, etc. in it. To me, that's what makes Dark Souls a great game. It's unique. And it's not just another thing to put on the market. It even has its own category now. Its own variation of Rage game. And that is what makes Dark Souls a good game. Ladies and gentlemen, adieu.